So good morning students. So last class we have discussed about if and if else control structure. Today we shall see the third control structure, nested if else control structure. Nested if else control structure. Nested if else control structure. So this is the third conditional control structure. Conditional control structure. So the rule for this is like this. If condition 1, then if condition 2, this is block 2. I am writing this one as block 2 because of condition 2. I am using this one as block 2. Else block 1. Else block 1. Block 1. Here statement 1, statement 1, statement 2, etc. Statement 2, etc. Below any number of statements, etc. Now the flowchart for this is like this. Flowchart. So this is the condition 1. Condition 1. Now test the condition 2. If the condition 1 is true, then it will test the condition 2. Condition 2. If the condition 2 is true, then block 2 set of statements are executed. Then block 2 set of statements are executed. It will not execute the else part because the condition is true. This is just like normal if else. So if the condition is true, block 2 is executed. If the condition is false, block 1 is executed. So if the condition 1 is false, then block 1 is executed. Block 1 is executed. If the condition 1 is true, then it will test the condition 2. If the condition 2 is true, block 2. If the condition 2 is false, then this else block 1 set of statements are executed. Then after executing this statement, control will come outside and it will execute statement 1, statement 2, etc. Statement 1, statement 2, etc. All the statements are executed. Now, if the condition 1 itself is false, then it will not check the condition 2. It will directly come outside and it will execute the statement 1, statement 2, etc. Statement 1, statement 2, etc. So this is the flow chart for nested if else. Nested if else conditional control structure. Once again. So one if else, another if is known as nested if else. This is called as inner. This is inner. This is outer. So if else statement is inside another if called as nested if else control structure. Condition 2 is true, block 2. If the condition 2 is false, then block 1. Along with statement 1, statement 2 are executed. If the condition 1 itself is false, then it will directly come to statement 1, statement 2, etc. All the remaining statements are executed. Now we shall see with a sample program. Now first statement will be as include stdio.h. As include stdio.h int main. Now I will write the nested if else. If 5 greater than 3. If 8 greater than 4. Print f. Hello. Printf hello. Else printf hi. Here printf example. Example, printf nested if else, nested if else, return 0, return 0, return 0. Now this is a program. This is a program. So every C program should contain this main function, int main, return 0, open flower brace and close flower brace. Inside this main function, we need to write the code. We need to write the statement. We need to write the statement. Now, 5 is greater than 3. 5 is greater than 3. The condition is true. If the condition 1 is true, then only it will test the condition 2. So what is the condition 2? 8 is greater than 4. 8 is greater than 4. Then if it is true, then block 2 set of statements are executed. So here I am using only single statement, that's why I have not written flower bases. If you want to write many statements, then you have to include the set of statements inside the flower bases. Set of statements inside the flower bases is called as block. Now, condition 1 is true, condition 2 is true. True means it will print this hello. The output is hello. Hello. This will not execute the else part. The control will come outside. Then it will print all these statements. Statement 1, statement 2, etc. Hello. Example, nested if else. Nested if else. Once again, condition 1 is true. It will check the condition 2. If the condition 2 is true, then it will execute this statement, hello, and it will come outside. What is the outside statement? Example, nested if else. So this will be the output of this program. In this, anybody having any doubt? Students?
No, sir.
Now, if I change the condition, now 8 is less than 4. Now 5 is greater than 3. Condition 1 is true. True means it will test the condition 2 for true or false. Now what is condition 2? Condition 2, 8 is less than 4. The condition is false. False means this statement is not executed. So the control will come else part. Else block 1. So what is block 1? Block 1 here I am taking hi, and the control will come outside and it will say example hello. So the output of this program will be hi, example, nested if else. If the condition 1 is true, condition 2 is false, then else block is executed. Then it will execute all these statements. Example, nested if else. Now I will change this condition now. Third case. 5 is less than 3. Now condition 1. Now what is condition 1? Condition 1 is 5 is less than 3. Is it true or false? False. 5 is less than 3. False. False means the control will directly come to statement 1, statement 2, etc. All the remaining statements are executed. So here this will not test condition 2. If the condition 1 is false, directly it will come outside. So what is the outside? Example, nested if else. So the output of this program will be example, nested if else. Clear everybody? Nested if else? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now erase. Now fourth conditional control structure. Fourth one conditional control structure is if else, if ladder. If else if ladder. If else if ladder. The rule. Rule. The rule is also called as syntax. The rule. If condition 1, state block 1, else if condition 2, block 2, else if condition 3, block 3, else statement 1, statement 2, etc. So this is the rule. If the condition 1 is true, it will execute block 1 statement. If the condition 1 is false, then it will test the condition 2. If the condition 2 is true, then it will execute the block 2 statement. If the condition 1 is false, if the condition is 2 is false, then only it will test the condition 3. If the condition 3 is true, then it will execute block 3 set of statement. Block 3 set of statement. If condition 1 is false, condition 2 is false, condition 3 is false, then it will execute else part. Else statement 1, statement 2, etc. Remaining statements are executed. Now, I will write the flow chart. Condition 1, if it is true, then block 1. Then block 1. If it is true. If it is false, then it will test for condition 2. Condition 2. If condition 2 is true, it will execute block 2. If it is true. If it is false, then it will test for condition 3. If condition 3 is true, then it will execute block 3. If condition 3 is false, then it will execute statement 1. Statement 1. This is statement 2. Now, all these statements will execute this statement 2. Now, is this flowchart is okay? Is this flowchart? Students?
Yes, sir.
If condition 1 is true, then block 1 statement is executed. Block 1, this else statement is not executed. Statement 1 is not executed. If condition 1 is true, block 1, statement 2, block 1, the control will come here. Statement 2, statement 3, etc. are executed. Now, if condition 1 is false, if this is false, then the control will come here and test the condition 2. What is condition 2? Now, if the condition 2 is true, then this is executed, block 2. Block 2 set of statements are executed. When block 2 is executed, the statement 1 is not executed because this comes under else. Statement 1 is not executed. So, block 2 and statement 2, statement 3, etc. are executed. Now, if condition 1 is false, condition 2 is also false, then it will test for condition 3. If condition 3 is true, then block 3 set of statement is executed. This immediately below else statement is not executed. This statement 1 is not executed. So the control will come here and execute statement 2, statement 3, etc. Remaining statements are executed. Now, if condition 1 is false, condition 2 is false, condition 3 is false, then only the statement, else statement is executed, statement 1. Statement 1 is executed. All the remaining below statements are executed. Clear, everybody? Clear? Students?
Yes, sir.
Condition 1 is true. Block 1, statement 2, statement 3, below statement. If condition 1 is false, then only it will come here and check the condition 2. If it is true, block 2, statement 2, statement 3, etc. If condition 1 is false, condition 2 is false, then you test the condition 3. If it is true, block 3, statement 2, statement 3. If 1 is false, 2 is false, 3 is false, then only statement executed and remaining below statement 2, statement 3 all are executed. This is the arrow. Now we shall see with an example program. So nested if else ladder. Example, as include stdio.h int main is 5 greater than 3 printf hello else if 8 greater than 4 printf hi else if 12 greater than 8 printf by else printf example printf program. So what is the last statement? Last statement will always be return 0 and close the flower bed. So this is the main function. We call this one as a main function. Int main, open flower bed, close flower bed. Open flower bed, close flower bed. Inside this open and close flower bed, we have to write the instruction or statement for the program. Now 5 greater than 3. The condition is true. So it will execute block 1. So what is block 1? Here I do single statement hello. If I want to use more than one statement, then I need to use this flower basis and I need to write many statements. If there is single statement, no need to write the flower braces. So 5 greater than 3 is true. Then it will print the hello. So what is the output? The output here is hello. Now it will not test this condition. Because condition 1 is true, it will print here and it will directly come outside. So what is the last statement? The last statement is program. So here it will print hello program. Return 0, stop the program execution. In this, anybody having any doubt? Students?
No, sir.
Now I will change here. Now 5 is less than 3. Now this is condition 1. If 5 is less than 3, no. If it is false, then only it will test for condition 2. Now condition 2. 8 greater than 4 is true. True means then block 2 set of statements are executed. Block 2. What is block 2? Block 2 output is hi. And statement 2. What is statement 2? Statement 2 is program. Statement 2 is program. So the output of this program is hi and program. Hi and program. Since the condition 1 is false, then only it will test for condition 2. Since the condition 2 is true, so block 2, if you want to write many statements, use the flower base. If single statement is there, then no need to use the flower base. So it will print hi, then it will print program and remaining statements. So the output of this program is hi program. Now I will change. I will change the condition. 8 is less than 4. 8 is less than 4. Now again run the program. First it will check the condition 1. What is condition 1? 5 is less than 3. Is 5 is less than 3? False. Then only it will check the condition 2. Then only it will check the condition 2. Now 8 is less than 4. False.
False.
When it is false, then only it will check the condition 3. Condition 3. Now 12
True.
is greater than 8? True. True means block 3. Control will come here and it will execute block 3. So what is block 3? By. By. It will not execute the else part. It will execute printf program. Printf program. So this is the output of this program. Printf program. Now condition 1 is false, condition 2 is false, then only it will test the condition 3. Condition 3. If it is true, then block 3, statement 2, statement 2 here is program. So the output of this program is by program. Now again I will change the condition. Now we shall see the output. Now run the program. First it will test the condition 1. 5 less than 3, false. Then test the condition 2. 8 less than 4, false. Then test the condition 3. Condition 3. 12 less than 8, false. When all the conditions are false, then only this else statement is executed. What is the else statement? Printf example. So the output of this program is example program. So in the flowchart you can see that if the condition 1 is false, then test for condition 3. If the condition 2 is false, test for condition 3. If the condition 3 is also false, then only statement 1 else part is executed. What is else part? Statement 1. Statement 1 here it is example, and remaining all the below statements are executed. Statement 1, statement 2, etc. all are executed. In this, anybody having any doubts? Cleared everybody? Let's take else if ladder. If else if ladder. Now, last conditional control structure is switch case. Switch case control structure. Switch case. Switch case. The rule. The rule. Switch of condition or expression. Condition or expression. Now, case constant 1, then block 1. Block 1 break. Break. Case constant 2. Block 2 break. Break. Now this will continue any number of case constants. Now last one is default. Default colon block. Default block. Default block break. Break. Now close this one. This is open. This is closed. Close. Now statement 1. Statement 2. Below statement. So this is the rule for switch case conditional control structure. Switch case conditional control structure. The rule is switch. Switch. It will take the condition or expression. Condition or expression. It will evaluate. It will evaluate the expression. It will evaluate the expression. If the value of the expression matches with this constant 1, then block 1 statements are executed. Break. So break will take the control outside of this switch block. So what are the statements are there? Statement 1, statement 2 are executed. Statement 1, statement 2 are executed. Now, after evaluating this expression, whatever the value we get, if it is not matching with constant 1, then it will check for another case, constant 2. If it is matching with constant 2, then it will execute the block 2 set of statements. So break will take the control outside of the switch block. Now, after executing block 2, statement 1, statement 2 are executed. Statement 1, statement 2 are executed. Now, after evaluating the expression, so whatever the value we get, if that value does not match with constant 1, if that value does not match with constant 1, if that value does not match with constant 3, if that value does not match with constant 4, then it will execute the default set of statements. So default. So if it is not matching with any of the constant values, then it will execute the default. So default block of statements are executed. So break will take the control outside the switch case. So statement 1, statement 2, remaining statements are executed. Now I will write the flow chart. Erase. Expression. If it is matches with constant 1, then block 1 set of statements are executed. Block 1. If it matches with constant 2, then block 2 set of statements are executed. Default block. Set of statements are executed. So this is statement 1. Statement 2. The remaining statements are executed. So this is a flowchart for switch case. So first the expression value is evaluated. If the expression value matches with this constant 1, then block 1 statement is executed. Break will take the control outside of the switch case. Statement 1, statement 2 all are executed. If the expression value is not matching with constant 1, then it is set for constant 2. If the expression value matches with the constant 2, then block 2 set of statements are executed. Then statement 1, statement 2 remaining statements are executed. Now if the expression value is not matching with constant 1, if the expression value is not matching with constant 2, if there are many cases are there, it will check all the cases. If the expression value is not matching with constant 3, if the expression value is not matching with constant 4, then it will execute the default block of statements are executed. Then Statement 1, statement 2 and remaining statements are executed. Let's see with an example program. So this is as include stdio.h int main. Now switch of 3 plus 4. Switch of 3 plus 4. Now case 5. Printf hello break. Case 8. Printf hard break. Case 7.
Sir, it is colon or 5.
Yes?
Near 5 it is colon, sir.
Yes, it is colon.
Okay.
Then default. Printf /n program. Break. Then close the switch case. So printf /n switch. Printf case. Switch case. So the last statement must be return 0. Return 0. Close the main function. This is the main function. Open floor brace, close floor brace. This is the switch open brace. This is the switch close brace. Now, this is the program. Int main, open floor brace, close floor brace. Inside this main function, we need to write the instructions or statements of our program. Now, switch case. So 3 plus 4, this is the expression. 3 plus 4. What is 3 plus 4? 3 plus 4 is 7. 3 plus 4 is 7. So now this will match with the first case. 3 plus 4, 7. Is 7 is equal to 5? No. So first case is not matching. Then only it will check for next case. Is 7 is equal to 8? No. Is 7 is not equal to 8. Then it will check for the next case. Is 7 is equal to 7? So here it is matching with this case. So 7 is equal to 7. 7 is equal to 7. When the case constant is matching with this expression value, then these block statements are executed. So what is the statement here I have written? By. So the output will be by. So below this statement I have written break. So break will take the control outside of the switch block. So what are the remaining statements? Switch case. So by switch case. So this is the output of this program. By switch case. Now if I change this one, 8 plus 4. Now, what is 8 plus 4? 8 plus 4 is 12. Now, first it will match for 5. Is 12 is equal to 5? No. Is 12 is equal to 8? No. Is 12 is equal to 7? No. So, here it is not matching with all the case constants. Then it will execute the default block of statements. So, what is the default here? Program. Break will take outside switch case. case. So this is the output of this program. This is the output of this program. Now, what if I don't write break here? What happens? Now we shall see. If I don't write break, what happens? Now 1 plus 4. 1 plus 4 is 5. It is checked for the case constant 1. 5 is equal to 5. 5 is equal to 5. So what it will print? It will print hello. It will print hello. But here I have not written break. Since I have not written break, it will continually execute the next statement. What is the next statement? Next statement is hi. Hi. Now you are seeing break. Now you are seeing break. It will come outside of the switch case. Now what are the statements outside the switch case? Switch case. So this is the output of this program. If you don't write the break at the end of this case constant, then continually it will execute the remaining statement. The remaining statement. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 is matching with 5. So it will print hello, it will print hi, then it has executed break. The control will come here and it will print switch case. And it will print switch case. Now, what happens if break is not here? If break is not here. Now, 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 is matching with 5. So it will print hello. It will print hello. Since there is no break, next statement is executed. What is the next statement? Next statement is hi. Now, since there is no break, what is the next statement? Next statement is bye. Next statement is bye. Here it is a break statement is there, so control will come outside. So what are the next statements are there? Switch case. Switch case. So this is the output of this program. So usually after every case constant, we will write the last statement as break statement. Break statement. So if the value matches with this constant, after executing the set of statements, we have to write the break. Break will take the control outside of the switch case. Loop control structure. Loop control structure. Loop control structure. So if you want to execute a set of statements more than once, if you want to execute a set of statements more than once, then we go for loop control structure. Loop control structure. So the loop control structures are again divided into 3. First one is while loop. Second one is for loop. Third one is do while loop. Do while loop. This is a special one, nested for loop. Nested for loop. Nested for loop. While loop, for loop, do while loop, and nested for loop. So we shall see first one. What is while loop? First one, while loop. While loop. Rule. Rule. Rule for while loop. Initialization. Initialization while condition block increment or decrement statement 1, statement 2, etc. So this is the rule for while loop. while loop control structure. While loop control structure. So for any loop, these three expressions are present. One is initialization, another is condition, another is increment or decrement. For any loop, either you can take while loop, for loop, do while loop, or nested for loop. So these three statements are compulsory: initialization, test the condition, then increment or decrement. Now we can see the flowchart how the while loop works. How the while loop works. Now, first statement is initialization. Initialize. Now it will test for condition. It will test for condition. If the one condition is true, then it will execute the block set of statements. Block set of statements. Then it will execute increment or decrement. Increment or decrement. Then again it will test the condition. Then again it will test the condition. If the condition is true, again block set of statements are executed, increment or decrement. Again it will test the condition. If the condition is true, block set of statements are executed, increment, decrement. So this loop will be continued. This will be continued. If the condition is true, block statements are executed, increment, decrement. Again check the condition. If it is true, block statements are executed, increment or decrement. Again check the condition. If it is true, repeat this process. Repeat this process. If the condition is false, then only it will come here. Statement 1, statement 2, the remaining statements are executed. So this is statement 1. This is statement 2. And remaining statements are executed. If the condition is false, if the condition is false, then the remaining statements are executed. Then the remaining statements are executed. See the flowchart. First, initialization. Initialization. Then it will check the condition. If the condition is true, block set of statements are executed. It will increment or decrement the variable value. Then again the control will go here, again test the condition. If the condition is true, then block set of statements are executed, increment or decrement, then again test the condition. If the condition is true, repeat this process. Execute increment, decrement, again test the condition. When the condition is false, then only the control will come outside and it will execute statement 1, statement 2, remaining statements are executed. Now we shall see with an example program. Now we shall see with an example program. Now, what is the first statement? Hash include stdio.h int main. Int main. Int main. Now, here I will take one variable a. Variable a. So what is the first step? The first step will be always initialization. So initialization, I will assign a is equal to 1. This is the initial value. Initialization means what is the initial value for this variable? Initial value is 1. I have assigned initial value as 1. Now test the condition. Now while a is less than 5. A is less than 5. This is the condition. A is less than 5. Now I will write some block of statements. So printf hello. Printf hello. Printf hello. What is the next statement? Increment or decrement. So here I will do a is equal to a plus 1. A is equal to a plus 1. In short, you can write this one as a plus plus. You can also write this one as a plus plus. A plus plus. Now printf flatten while loop. while loop. What is the last statement? Last statement should always be return 0. Return 0. So this is our program. This is our program. So we have to take one variable. We have to initialize that variable. Initialization means what is the starting value of this variable. The starting value of this variable is I have taken as 1. Now test the condition. What is the condition? A less than 4, A less than 5, A less than 5. What is the value of A? Value of A is 1. 1 is less than 5? True. True means inside. So what it will print? It will display the message as hello. So what is the output here we are going to see? Hello. Now increment or decrement? Now here I am increasing the value A plus plus. So A value is 1, A plus plus. A value will change to 2 now. This is nothing but A is equal to A plus 1. So A value will change to 2. Now again test the condition. Now again after increment or decrement again test the condition. Now 2. 2 is less than 5? True. True means again inside. So printf hello. So it will print hello. Again A plus plus. So what is the current value of A? Current value of A is 2. 2 plus 1. Now 3. Again test the condition. 3 is less than 5? Yes. 3 is less than 5. True. So printf hello. Now A plus plus. 3 plus 1? 4. A will change to 4. Again test the condition. 4 is less than 5? Yes. True. True means inside. So printf hello. A plus plus. A is equal to A plus 1. 4 plus 1? 5. Now A value will change to 5. Again test the condition. Is 5 is less than 5? False. 5 is less than 5? False. False means then you come outside of this while block. Outside of this while block I am printing the message as while loop. So the output is while loop. Return 0. Now the program execution completes. So by that time the output on the screen we will see is hello and while loop. So loop control structures are used for executing a set of statements more than one. So here this hello statement is executed 4 times, more than one. When the condition is false, then only you are coming outside. Then it will print while loop. If any more statements are there, it will print remaining statements also. Now, here I have taken A value as 1, here I have taken plus plus. Now, increment or decrement. Now, what if I have taken A minus minus? Can anybody tell the output?
It will not stop, sir.
Yes, correct. It will not stop because A value is 1. Initially A value is 1. Now, 1 is less than 5. True. True means it will print one time hello. Now A minus minus. So 1 minus 1, 0. Now again it will test the condition. 0 is less than 5. Yes. It will print again hello. Now again A minus minus. So 0 minus 1, A value is minus 1. Now again test the condition. Is minus 1 less than 5? Yes. Again it will print hello. Now again A minus minus. Minus 1 minus 1, minus 2. Again test the condition. Minus 2. Minus 2 is less than 5? Yes. It will print hello. Again A minus minus. Minus 2 minus 1, minus 3. Minus 3 is less than 5? Yes. Again it will print hello. So this will be infinite. It will not stop because the condition will never become false. It will become minus 5 less than 5, minus 6 less than 5, minus 7 less than 5, minus 8 less than 5, minus 1000 less than 5, minus 10,000 less than 5. So this will never stop. So based on the program logic, here we need to use either increment or decrement. We have to satisfy this condition at some time. Like if I use plus plus, when a value will become 5, then only the condition will become false, then only it will come outside. So here, depending on the program, we have to use either increment or decrement until the condition becomes false. When the condition becomes false, it will come outside. It will come outside. Same program I will write in a different way. Same program.
Sir,
Yes.
can we write a plus plus A?
You can write plus plus a or a plus plus. Both are same. You can use either prefix or postfix because there is a single variable is there. Now same program I will write. Same program. First statement is as include stdio.h int main int a. Now first statement is initialization. Now while loop. While condition. Here condition I will check this. A greater than 1. A greater than 1. A greater than 1. Print as hello. Here I will do a minus minus. Print as while loop. Return 0. Close the program. This is initialization, this is condition, this is increment or decrement. Initialization, condition, this increment or decrement. These three expressions are common for all the loops. While loop, for loop, do while loop. Now, what is the a value? A value is 5. 5 is greater than 1? Yes, it is greater than 1. True means inside. So what it will print? It print hello. Now, starting value is 5. Now, a minus minus. A is equal to a minus 1. Now, a value will become 5 minus 1, 4. Now, again test the condition. Now, 4 is greater than 1? Yes, 4 is greater than 1. True means it will print hello. Again, a is equal to a minus 1. So 4 minus 1 is 3. A value will change to 3. Again test the condition. If it is true, now 3 is greater than 1. True. Print hello. A minus minus. A is equal to a minus 1. 3 minus 1, 2. Again test the condition. 2 greater than 1. Yes. True. Hello. Again a is equal to a minus 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1. Again test the condition. 1 greater than 1. False. False means come outside. So it will print while loop. What is the output of the previous program? The previous program is for alone and while loop. This program also for alone and while loop. Here, starting value I have taken 5. To satisfy this condition, I need to decrement. I need to decrease the value. For 5 it is true, for 4 it is true, for 3 it is true, for 2 it is true, for 1 greater than 1 is false, come outside, it will print while loop, return 0, stop the program execution. Clear everybody? When we have to use increment, when we have to use decrement. So based on the condition, based on the initial value, we have to satisfy this condition at some time. When the condition becomes false, then only it will come outside. Otherwise, it will execute infinite time. I will write one example program for while loop itself. While loop example. Write program to find factorial factorial of a given number using while loop. Using while loop. So factorial. So we have seen the algorithm in flowchart for writing the factorial of a given number. Given number. Given number. Now I will write the program. So what is the program? As include stdio.h. stdio.h. Now int main. Now int main. So what is the program? To find the factorial of a given number. So given number. So number, we should require one number. That I will call this one as n. Now what we need to find? We need to find the factorial. So I will take the variable name as fact. Variable name as fact. What is factorial? Factorial of 5 is 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 is 5 factorial. So to get that number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I will take one more variable as I. I will take one more variable as I. Cleared up to here? Why we need to take this variable? 5 factorial is nothing but 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. So to get this number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I will use this one name as I. The result I want to store in fact. So which number I need to find the factorial? This 5 factorial or 6 factorial or 8 factorial like 8 factorial. Now which value? We need to read the value. Printf enter n value. Enter n value. So we will use scanf %d comma address of n. Scanf %d address of n. Now what is the starting value of the factorial? Minimum value of the factorial. Minimum value of the factorial is 1 because factorial 0 is 1, factorial 1 is 1. Factorial 1 is 1. Now 5 factorial is nothing but 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. 10 factorial is nothing but 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 into 6 into 7 into 8 into 9 into 10. So first which number it is starting? It is starting with 1. I is equal to 1. I is equal to 1. Initial value 1. Now while I less than or equal to n. I less than or equal to n. Fact is equal to fact into I. Fact is equal to fact into I. So now fact is 1, I is 1. 1 into 1, it is stored as 1. Now we have to get the next value. What is the next value? I plus plus. I plus plus. Close the while loop. Printf /n factorial is equal to %d fact. Return 0. Return 0. This is our program. So int main, n is for which variable we want to find the factorial, fact is for storing the result, I is for the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to n, up to n. Now when we run this program, when we run this program, it will execute the statement enter n value, enter n value, enter n value. Now it will stop. It will not execute the statement until you enter the value from the keyboard. Until you enter any value from the keyboard. Say that you entered the value as 5. 5. So initially factorial is 1, I is 1. Factorial is 1, I is 1. Now I will erase left hand side. Now this is n, this is I, this is fact. Now initially fact is 1, I is 1, n value has become 5. N value become 5. Now test this condition 1. 1 is less than or equal to n. 1 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, true. True means inside. Fact is equal to fact into I. So 1 into 1. 1 into 1. So the new value of factorial is 1. 1. What is 5 factorial? 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. So now to get this next number, so what I will do is I plus plus. So I value will change to 1 plus 1, 2. I value will change to 2. Now 2 is less than or equal to n. 2 is less than or equal to 5. 2 is less than or equal to 5. Then fact is equal to fact into I. So what is the fact? Fact is 1. 1 into 2 is 2. So the new value of fact is 2. Fact is 2. Now to get the next number, now I is 2. To get the next number, I have to do I plus plus. So 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 is less than or equal to 5? Yes, it is less than or equal to 5. Less than or equal to 5. True. True means inside. Fact is equal to fact into I. 2 into 3, 6. So the new value of fact is 6. New value of fact is 6. To get the next number, I need to increase I plus plus. So 3 plus 1, 4. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, 4 is less than or equal to 5. True. True means fact is equal to fact into I. 6 into 4, 24. 24. The new value of factorial is 24. 24. Now, to get this next number, I need to increase I plus plus. 4 plus 1, 5. 4 plus 1, 5. 5 less than or equal to 5? Yes. True. 5 less than or equal to 5? True. True means inside. Fact is equal to fact into I. 24 into 5, 120. 120. The new value of fact is 120. 120. Next, again next value. Next value is I plus plus. I is becoming 6. Now, check the condition. 6 is less than or equal to 5? False. 6 is less than or equal to 5? False. False means then only you are coming outside. So what it is printing here? Factorial is equal to fact. So what is the new value of fact? The current value of fact is 120. So the output will be factorial is equal to 120. This is the output of this program. Now, starting I have written algorithm and flowchart. Algorithm and flowchart. Based on the algorithm and flowchart only we can write this program. Now I will show that one. What algorithm I have written, what flowchart I have written, and how I have converted that algorithm into flowchart. Now, what is the algorithm I have written? Just a revision. Step 1. Step 1 will always be start. Just this is the revision. Already I explained how to write the algorithm and how to write the flowchart. Now I am showing you that how I have converted that algorithm into program. how I have converted that flowchart into program. Now read n. So I have taken the initial value of factorial as 1. Initial value of the factorial as 1. Now what is the fourth step? What is the starting value? Starting value I have taken as 1. Now what I have done? Fact is equal to fact into I. Then I have incremented the value. I is equal to I plus 1. I plus 1. Then I have tested the condition. If I less than or equal to n, then repeat step from 5 to 7. From 5 to 7. Now, when the condition is false, I have printed print fact. Print fact. What is the last step? Last step is stop. This is the flowchart algorithm I have written when I am explaining the algorithm to find the factorial of a given number. Factorial of a given number. Now I have written the program. Now I have converted this algorithm into program. How? See here. So here, repeat steps 5 to 7. Which are the statements are repeated? These are repeated, right? 5 to 7, these are repeated. So, why we are going for loop control structure? To execute some statements more than once. So, these are repeated. Repeat steps 5 to 7. What is this? This is initialization. What is this? This is the condition. What is this? Increment or decrement. Here we need increment. I am writing this increment. So for any loop control structure, we need these expressions. One is initialization. This is condition, increment or decrement.
Yes, sir.
Now, so fact is equal to 1 I have written here. Fact is equal to 1. This read n how I have written? Enter n value, scanf address of n. In the program we write like this. Read n. In the program we write printf enter n value, scanf address of n. This is the initial value of the factorial. This is the initialization of the variable I. Initialization. Now, which are the statements are repeated? Repeat steps 5 to 7. Up to this condition, I less than or equal to n. So, up to this condition, write the condition I less than or equal to n. I less than or equal to n. Which are the statements you want to repeat? 5 to 7. So, what is 5 statement? 5 statement is fact is equal to fact into I plus plus. Since there are 2 statements are there, you need to use floor brace. So, this is the block set of statements. Last will be increment or decrement. Again test the condition. If it is true, fact is equal to fact into I plus plus. Again test the condition. If it is true, fact is equal to fact into I plus plus. If it is true, repeat these steps. If it is false, by that time our factorial will be having the expected result. Factorial is equal to fact. My question to you people is, so whatever the algorithms we have written, you must be able to write the programs, convert into C program. So for reading the n value, we will use like this: scanf %d, address of n. So here, to display the message, /n, enter n value. Enter n. So first statement should be int main. And this is open brace and close brace. So above this one you can include include stdio.h. So this is the program for finding the factorial of a number. Now, so you can use flowchart or algorithm to convert into a C program. So which are the steps are repeated? You write inside the block. You write the inside block. This is the initialization. This is the initialization. So after this statement, when it is false, print the value of factorial. Print the value of factorial. You tell any algorithm. I have written the algorithm where the repeat is there. Repeat. Any algorithm, I will write the program. You see
To
your
find
note.
sum of unnatural numbers.
To find sum of n natural number. Now, first statement is as include stdio.h. stdio.h. int main. So, what we require? We require n. First n natural number. We require up to n. This is I. So, what we are finding? We are finding the sum. We are finding the sum. These three are the variable names. Variable names. Now, to read the value, what I will do is printf enter n. Enter n. This is our message. You can write enter n value. It is our message. Then, to read the value, in C language, we use like this. Since n is of integer data type, we need to use %d. %d. Now what is the starting value of the sum? Starting value of the sum will always be 0 because we have not started for adding the number. Adding the number. Now, what is the starting number? Starting number is 1. So, this is initialization. Initialization. Now, while I less than or equal to n, up to n number we need to add. Now, sum is equal to sum plus I. Sum is equal to sum plus I. Now, I is 1. Now, increase it to 2. I will become 2. Now, close the while loop. Close the while loop. Now, when the condition is false, print the value. Sum is equal to %d sum. What is the last statement? Last statement should always be return 0. This is our program. This is our program. This is our program. Now, what is the output? Enter n. Enter n. Say that I have taken n as 5. N as 5. 5. Now see here. N I have taken, I have taken, sum I have taken. N is 5 now. Starting value of sum is 0. I have assigned as 1. Now, 1 less than or equal to 5. 1 less than or equal to 5. Sum is equal to sum plus I. 0 plus 1, 1. I plus plus 2. Next integer number is 2. Now, 2 less than or equal to 5. Again check the condition. Yes. Now, sum is equal to sum plus I. 1 plus I is 1 plus 2 is 3. Next, to get the next number, I plus plus. I plus plus. 3 less than or equal to 5. Yes. Sum is equal to sum plus I. 3 plus 3, 6. To get the next number, I plus plus 4. 4 less than or equal to 5. Yes. True. True means sum is equal to sum plus I. 6 plus 4, 10. To get the next number, I plus plus 5. 5 less than or equal to 5. Yes. Sum is equal to sum plus I. 10 plus 5, 15. 10 plus 5, 15. I plus plus 6. 6 less than or equal to 5. False. False means come outside. Come outside. What you are printing? Sum is equal to sum. The recent value of sum is 15. So what is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5? 3 plus 3, 6, 6 plus 4, 10, 10 plus 5 is 15. So that is the output we will get. Here the output will be sum is equal to 15. Sum is equal to 15. Sum is equal to 15. So whatever the algorithms or flowchart we have discussed, you must be able to convert into the program. Algorithm and flowchart, we are writing as per the user understanding. Here we are using the syntax according to the C language. All the statements should end with a semicolon. According to the C language we are writing. This is called as a program. Program. Flowchart and algorithm for user understanding. Program is for implementation in the computer. Here we are using the C language. I am using the C structure. If you are writing the same logic, algorithm and flowchart converting into Python, then we have to use the Python syntax, Python root. If you want to write the program in Java, then you have to use the Java root. The logic will be same, only the rule will be different. I want to show that I have converted that flowchart into program only. I have not written this one separately. Now, start. So I have written this one as read n. The starting value of the sum is 0. Then I have initialized the value I is equal to 1. Then I have taken sum is equal to sum plus I. Then I have incremented the value I is equal to I plus 1. Then I have tested the condition I less than or equal to n. Then if it is true, then you execute this set of statements. If it is false, then I written as print sum. The last statement will always be stop. This is the flowchart I have written earlier. Now I am saying that this is the flowchart and this is the program. Both are same. How? Now which steps are repeating? So whenever we write this back arrow, we have to consider this one as these statements are repeated. So sum is equal to sum plus I have written here. I is equal to I plus I have written here. I plus 1. I have repeated. So whatever the statements are repeated, you write inside the block. This is the condition. This is the initialize. I is equal to 1. I is equal to 1. Test the condition. What are the statements are executed? When the condition is false, print that result. Print sum, stop. Now what is this? These are the initial values. Sum I have assigned 0. Read n. So in the flowchart I am using read n. In program I need to use printf, enter n, scanf, address of n. This is just nothing but read n. So start with int main. Open flower brace, return 0, close flower brace. This is the program. So whatever the algorithm and flowchart we have written, wherever I had used repeat, you have to use the loop control structure. Either while loop. So today we have discussed the while loop. So I ask you people to convert the remaining flowchart into a program, into C program.